All right, next up we're going to do a purple raspberry burst with Angelus dyes. I've got 3 different dyes I'm going to be using today. This is that quilted maple veneer that I pressed on earlier in one of my earlier vids. We're going to start out with the Angelus purple dye, and we're going to apply this real thick onto the top. These Angelus dyes are beautiful. I love the coloring, specifically of this purple. About halfway through here, you'll see some really cool effects that I had with this purple dye. We'll put this on pretty thick. Use a clean rag and just apply this on. Get all the corners. I've got some binding on this guitar body, and a couple spots showed through, so I'll have to do a little bit more sanding after this. But we put on about 3 really thick coats of this purple. Make sure I get all the ends and corners and nooks and crannies at the top here. Get that nice even coloring. Speed this up here. So again, this is about 3 coats, and I rub it in, making sure it's nice and thick. And alas, I have a little bit of binding glue left over, so I got to pull out the sander. And again, this is my light Black & Decker sander with 400 grit, and we're going to sand off a little bit of the color. We're going to pull down the color. And at this point, this is where I realized I probably should have just stopped. The coloring here is beautiful. It really soaked into the grain perfectly. I put some naphtha on this, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I should have just rubbed some purple back in on the top and then left it. But I wanted to go for this raspberry burst with the rose color. So what we do is we're going to add some rose, light rose, to the center here and see if we can get that center to pop. And it wasn't popping here. I didn't sand enough off. So we'll do that teardrop shape like a burst and rub it in the middle. Lots of potential here with this color. We'll go back and we'll grab the rose color, the regular rose, not the light rose, and we'll apply that on the outside here. And these 3 colors are really outstanding. I really like the combination here. We'll fade this in on the outside. You just keep working the cloth around the body. We'll grab the purple, add a little bit of purple to the top side there where I sanded it out, darken it up. So we'll fill in the top horns here, feather the outside just to get that outside edge a little bit darker. This will easily clean up all that sanding I had to do. So with veneer, you can sand, but it's got to be a light sander. You can't apply too much pressure. Got to be very careful so you don't sand through the veneer. As I learned with this veneer, probably this last sanding was a little bit too much. It pulled some of the depth out of the wood. But you've probably got one shot with veneer. And probably if I did this again, I would just use the one single color, or don't do the sandback technique. We'll go ahead and put that rose on the side after putting that initial purple down to darken up the edge. Try and get this to bleed in a little bit more. Make sure I get all the coloring right. It's really hard to film these colors. They're dark, and I've got that well-lit studio, but still it's hard to pick up all the color with the camera. So I'll add one more coat of the light rose. It's definitely not doing what I wanted it to do. So the coloring's pretty cool. This is with the flash on, but I wanted that center a lot lighter. So we'll go back here and sand off again with the 400. And we're just going to sand the center. And we'll come back with a clean rag and hit that center one more time. And then this is the coloring I was definitely looking for. The lighter center with the rose really gets to kind of that neat raspberry burst. You've got the purple and the red, and just a neat blend. So we'll go back again with a little bit more light rose. Rub this in. Keep that cloth moving. Make sure you're not getting any streaks anywhere. So I think to the right middle center there is where the sanding maybe pulled some of the figure out from that last bit of sanding. So I think you have one good shot when you're sanding. So then this is the rose. We're going to rub this on one more time. Get all that coloring to bleed in properly. And here we're looking pretty good. Nice coloring, nice fade. You got the dark purple on the outside, the rose, and then the light rose in the middle with that purple base. Really just wanted to play with some different colors here and see how this turned out. I'm pretty happy with this. We're going to do a fade on the back side of this with just using the pure colors. So this was the flash on, and you can see how neat it turns out. Really interesting playing with these colors. Definitely one of a kind, unique. So thanks for watching, guys. Check out my new website and see you in the next vid.